What is up, everyone? Here, this is Off the Growth. This is another episode of Off the Growth. Here we speak about many topics. Today, we're going to speak about love. And it's funny because my last episode, it was about love, but it was about a different type of love. So this week, we're going to talk about love in a romantic way, relationship way. Because nowadays, love is fading in many people's lives. A lot of times, when we think about love, we want to be that person, right? We want to love someone. We want to be loved by someone else. That feeling of love we feel is so special. It's almost like a drug. Love is a drug. I have done crazy things for love in the past, and I will do crazy things for love in the future. And it's not a bad thing. It's normal. We are human. We have emotions, we have feelings, and sometimes it's hard to control those feelings. Sometimes we try to control the other person also. And today's topic is about love and the idea of decentering love, right? You hear this term a lot, decentering yourself from men, decentering yourself from women. So that means you are not focused on love. You focus on maybe your career. You focus on, yeah, I mean, just your career, self love, being celibate, maybe your relationship with God, your religion. But basically, you are moving out of dating, you're moving out of finding the one, you know. And when I think about this, I think it's awesome. I'm proud of people for not wasting their time. Obviously, every person you meet, you're going to learn something from them. And that also is important. And I feel like when you're not putting yourself out there, yes, it's awesome to work on yourself. Yes, it's awesome to not, be lustful. Yes, it's awesome to, take time for you, because a lot of people never have time to themselves. They grow up with their family, and then they meet someone and they start a new family immediately. That's how it was, the 90s, the 80s, 70s. And, people now they're 70, 80 years old. And they're like, oh, wish I would have traveled more. Oh, they always like, oh, don't get married, don't get married, because they've never been alone. So we're in a prominent age right now where we have the ability to do many things alone. Look at solo traveling. Solo traveling is one of the biggest trends right now. People are not going to wait for their friends to travel. Me and myself, I definitely did a lot of solo traveling, and it was really eye-opening experience. I'm so grateful that I did that, and I learned so much about myself and just how life is really your reality. And whatever you want to do, you can put your mind to it with a little plan. And I think about the centering also with capitalism, right? It's kind of like they're pressuring us into this new idea of I don't need a man, I don't need a woman. I'm not saying it's late stage capitalism, but and remind you, I'm not a activist. I'm not, I don't read all these nonfiction books. I'm just speaking from my perspective, right? So obviously, I'm not right wing, not Republican, but they still have their values of family, tradition. They don't want to change. They accept that idea. I'm not saying that's the right idea. I'm just saying it's interesting, And the other people, we value more, shopping. We value more our hobbies now. People are running, people are reading books, people are going to the gym, doing yoga, going to meetups. And this is really amazing. People are really trying to find that third space again. Instead of just going to work, going home, taking care of the kids. It's a really new idea, new um, element of life that we have achieved. And we get to be in this amazing era of finding out what we love to do. Recently, right now, I'm into reading. Before I tried boxing. Before that, I tried the gym. I like to hike. I used to run, and I think it's special that we get to experience these type of things in our life because many people are narrow minded. Many people don't have this idea of, oh, I can just do this. Oh, I can just no. They feel like they have no choice but to work, but to support for their family, but to go home and be on Netflix, but to go home and scroll on TikTok. It's more so they're in this mindset and they're not sure how to leave this mindset, right? you know they they have a lot of kind of fear of it not working out, fear of who knows, right? I've had this fear before. Obviously, I feel like, oh, who knows, maybe I'm not, who says I'm not able to do it? I just haven't tried yet. And you go to all this spiraling. Okay, you're a beginner. Okay, you have to try to fail. Okay, you have to fail again to try. So it's really interesting when I think about how love really isn't the answer these days. And it's difficult. It's a difficult topic because obviously when we think about love, we think it needs to be easy, it needs to be flawless, it has to be the perfect person. And now with all these options, because of social media, because of comparing yourself to other people, we can see the whole world. I can open my phone and go to Asia. I can go to Africa. I can see what's going on. I can see the people. So our brain is like on edge for other things in life, right? Whereas before we were just in our city, maybe it's just even in our country, but we can see everything everywhere with 2 seconds. Think about that. And so we have lost this kind of dopamine rush that love gives us because before it used to be so strong. Before you'd be like, man, nothing's better than this. But now you go on a hike, you might fall in love with the view. You try a new book, you get new characters, you learn how to crochet, all these hobbies, all these third spaces that we are trying to find for ourselves now, they kind of replace that. And the thing that sucks, like the double-edged sword, is capitalism is feeding into this. So we are kind of supporting capitalism in a way by allowing people to outsource their hobbies now. You see people love to do hobbies, like even me, like I'm on YouTube, trying to, get, have a community of love, have a community, but I'm still on here, make a quick dollar, So many people do the same thing. They look at Gunna. Gunna's a rapper, American rapper. He has a Gunna Wanna Runner club, like a running club. And I saw a video like yesterday. It was like $25 to like get in the club. I was like, it's crazy. You just run on the street. $25. I'm like, okay, it is Gunna. That is kind of cheap for Gunna. That's like Drake. I mean, it's not like Drake, but so I'm saying people are using this era to try to gain money from their hobbies, try to gain money from trying different things, having their little community, having their space. And, the good part about it is it's awesome that we're able to do this too. Before we were very closed in a box, right? Go back to the right wing Republicans. Work, build a white picket fence, go home, repeat. The same cycle. And so now this is one thing that I like about this American dream is we can become extremely creative and we can become extremely new, have unique ideas, and grow from that. A lot of other countries, they're not there yet. They're not developed enough to be at this point, right? And so at the same time, I want to say that it is extremely beautiful era that we're in. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that this is a way kind of that flight they are pushing us towards, right? You see AI, all these things, they're trying to kind of figure out how they can use us the best way. And I think that's what they're doing right now with love, man. Like, they want it to be difficult to find love. They want everyone to have their one bedroom apartment, their dog. Because even with dogs and cats, they buy them stuff, take them to get insurance. Like, it's really like a whole business. And I guess this is funny because as a person from the United States, I'm always thinking about money, right? Someone told me this before. They're like, "Oh, somehow you always bring up money. Like, oh, like what do you do? Oh, because he's rich. Oh, this, that, and third." And it's not like that's just how the culture is. And this is why I'm telling you, man, culture is real, bro. Like, culture shock will hit you in ways you don't really expect you to hit you. And this is one of those ways, thinking about money, man. And I feel like with late stage capitalism, this is just what they're doing right now. And as much as it sucks, we have to look at it. How can we use this to our advantage? How can we be positive about this? And so for me, obviously, if that's what they're pushing for, there's no need to fight it. A lot of times, even me, people are very picky. Oh, he's too tall. Oh, she's a little overweight. Oh, I don't like that joke. Oh, knowing that we are human, knowing that we are complex, it's impossible to find your one person really these days, because also we don't even know who we are. We don't even know our true selves most of the time. We're looking at social media all day. We're looking at other people's problems all day. People's problems in Asia, people's problems in Europe, people's problems in South America. And that's a lot of baggage we are carrying each and every day. You might have a new account that's overseas, different culture, different everything, and you're carrying on their baggage also, right? Think about it. We can see the world's trauma in 2 seconds. We can see everyone's trauma, everyone's baggage, what everyone is going through in their country, whether it's environmental, whether it's political, whether it's economical, and that affects us. The more we see it, it affects us, right? So think about that. Before, all the baggage was just on our culture, maybe just our city, just our family. And yeah, it was a little heavy, but imagine the world on our shoulders. That's a lot. It's very difficult to remove that stress, remove that fear, because we weren't taught how to learn how to grow from that fear, right? We were taught how to grow from our culture. We were taught how to grow, how to get rid of that fear from our family. So when we are looking at social media all day, looking at Facebook all day, YouTube all day, TikTok all day, we see all these things happening in the world. And so it's difficult to remove that baggage also. I don't remember what I was getting at with that, but I thought it was important to mention that. Um, so yeah, I'll keep it a little shorter here, and I'll tell you that out of everything that I said, I hope that you take that love is still the answer. But just like anything, love evolves. Um, Energy is never destroyed. It's only created in different ways, right? Like, so when we talk about love, we still have to love. It's just going to take more time. We have to become more patient, and we have to make sure we are fully aligned with our emotions, we are fully aligned with our thoughts, and we are fully aligned with our actions so that they match up. Okay? A lot of times I feel like we are out of options because we are not aligned. We are aligned with someone else's ideas. We are aligned with someone else's thoughts. And this comes from not putting attention on your brain. And the thing with all these hobbies is we have to also just enjoy the hobby, right? Before I was talking about how people are always trying to make money off the hobbies, people always want to do this with the hobby, but we need to understand we need to just let ourselves be. There's no need to always have an end goal, you know? If you go on a hike, the goal is not to get 2,000 steps in the hike. The goal is not to get there in 1 hour. The goal is not to not take a break on the hike. The goal is to enjoy the hike, be with your thoughts, look at the pretty view, take your time, as much time as you want, and that's it. And we are not doing that. We're in a mode of always go, of always what can I get out of this? And this is why I feel like dating has transpired too also. We're not just enjoying the person. We're like, okay, but does he have a six-figure job? Okay, but can she cook for me? Okay, there's always these expectations that are put on us before we even get a chance to be our authentic selves, to make a small mistake. And, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't do these things also. I definitely judge people before um, I meet them. And it's normal. It's a ever learning experience in life. It's never going to be finished in one moment. So, you know, what we have to continue to do is learn about ourselves, put that love in ourselves, and have our own thoughts, have our own actions, right? So, one tip I would give is writing. Um, because when we are in our day to day, we have lots of things come up in our head. That those things are gonna cloud our thinking. And it can be mundane things, like, oh, I have to be in traffic today. Oh, my coworker. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I don't know what to cook. Like, excuse me. These things cloud up our judgment. So when we are able to write, that's also a good way to just be. Just write one page, write 2 pages. The goal is unfortunately 3 pages. I'm like 3 pages, that's a lot, but just write anything and continue to write, 3 4 days a week, every day, and then build up. But writing is going to be a way for you to release some stress, to release some thoughts, to clear your headspace so you can allow other things to come into your life. I think this is a great way to practice just being. Get a great way to practice. Look at your growth. Look at how far you've come, and just enjoy being a creative person. You know, finding that line, finding out how to grow in that creative aspect. And and yeah, hopefully this video brought some emotions to your brain. Hopefully you felt something in this video. And love still is the answer, but it has to evolve, just like universe, just like earth, just like humans, just like anything else, animals. Is going to have to evolve. And I'm here to help you guys on this evolving trajectory that we're on here called life. And this is really what Off the Growth is about. So until next time, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you soon.